right. So my name is Michael DeLue. Today is Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022. And today is episode 111 of Pull Up the Tape. And I got a lot of stuff to get into. Honestly, a lot of stuff to get into. I can't wait. I've been it's been I want to say like a week since the last time I recorded a podcast, but I mean, I've consistently been dropping, little clips and whatever the case may be on YouTube. So, nevertheless, I have been, obviously, continue to do my best to try and stay consistent. So, yesterday, Tuesday, great day in the world of sports. Yesterday was the NFL trade deadline. The Bulls beat the Nets, and Miami beat the Warriors. So, I'm gonna discuss all those, and I'm just really excited, honestly. So, first thing I want to talk about is the NFL trade deadline. All right, so 7 trades took place on deadline day yesterday, which was the most since 2012. Which I thought was crazy because I'm like, 7 trades is not really too much. I want to get into the people that weren't traded that had a lot of buzz behind their name and they were talking about getting traded for various reasons. Cam Akers was not traded, and obviously it's no secret. Cam Akers has struggled since coming back from his injury. Just doesn't look like he's going to be able to fit into McVay's system. He's probably going to get cut by the Rams at the end of the season, obviously, which is why they're trying to trade him, get something for him now. Brandon Cooks was not traded, and that's probably because, I'm pretty sure Houston shopped him, but a lot of teams, I don't know many teams that are willing to take on his salary because his salary is pretty fucking huge. And teams that are like interested in the receiver market, like maybe the Bears, the Bears probably just look at it like, you know what, he's kind of old already. How many years can we genuinely get out of him and Justin Fields together? Probably not that many. So, and then on top of that, salary obviously is an issue. Shit, the Packers are probably thinking, fuck no, we're not paying for that. Packers cheap-ass organization. They're not trying to pay nobody. Kareem Hunt was not traded. Surprised that the Browns weren't able to find a deal for that because they were running under the impression that, he's probably not going to re-sign with us in the offseason for whatever reason. Which I personally feel like he should. They took a chance on him when a lot of the league was just like, you know what, they're kind of over this dude. So I don't know. I don't, and they're a good team. I wouldn't say they're a good team, but they're getting Deshaun Watson back so soon. So and then next year, who knows what that team is going to look like? Unless a better opportunity presents itself, which I don't really think it will. I think he should stick around with the Browns. But hey, that's just what I think. And Jerry Jeudy was discussed in a lot of trade talks, but ultimately he didn't end up getting traded for whatever reason. Not gonna lie, man. Jerry Jeudy obviously has not turned out to be the receiver that I thought it would be for various reasons. But hey, it is what it is. So those are all the players that didn't get traded. Let's talk about what actually happened. So the Dolphins. Yesterday, the Dolphins traded for Bradley Chubb. Obviously, he's a premier rusher in the NFL. He's been. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Bradley Chubb went to North Carolina State, Wolfpack, if I'm not mistaken. And since coming out of college, he's been nothing short of stellar. Even his rookie class, he was one of the better defensive players. And since then, he's continued to ascend and become one of the premier rushers in the NFL. And I'm surprised that the Broncos were just willing to trade him the way they were. But, and they traded him for a second-round pick, they traded him for a first-round pick. But I don't know. I'm surprised that they were willing to trade him, it is what it is. One man's mistake is another man's fucking blessing. So the Dolphins traded for Bradley Chubb and Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson, running back from San Francisco 49ers. He's very much acclimated with Mike Daniels' system, and in return, the Dolphins traded away Chase Edmonds, who just honestly and even Chase Edmonds leaving Arizona. What did he leave Arizona for? I want to talk about the Dolphins though really quick because I seen a graphic of what the Dolphins were able to turn moving down the trade between Trey Lance and the trade between the trade between the 49ers and the Dolphins that resulted in the 49ers being able to move up to grab Trey Lance. The Dolphins turned those 3 first-round picks into Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, and if I'm not mistaken, Jalen Waddle. Those are the 3 picks that they got out of that. Bradley Chubb, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle. So credit to the Dolphins front office because they they're making a move, and then even just acquiring Bradley Chubb, that's a push that lets the rest of the AFC know and lets the rest of the AFC East know like the Dolphins are trying to compete. The Dolphins are going to be a contender, and the Dolphins want to establish themselves as one of the premier teams in the conference. I mean, they already have Jalen Phillips on the defensive end. Miami's defense is good, so hey man, credit to Miami. They're one of the winners in yesterday's trade deadline. Another winner would be the Vikings. The Vikings just got T.J. Hawkinson, and what he is an elite tight end, and essentially he takes their offense to the very next level. The Vikings already have an elite running back in Dalvin Cook. They have an elite receiver in Justin Jefferson, and then getting T.J. Hawkinson is incredible for them because not only is he a very good pass catching tight end, he's also a very good blocking tight end. So he's going to take their offense to the next level and be able to. He's honestly just a step up from what they had before. The Ravens acquired Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith and the Bears couldn't agree to a long-term deal, and the defensive coordinator kind of made it known that he's not here for big name players or whatever the case may be, and he would rather just a small name guys that fit his system and that he can mold into the players that he want. And honestly, very very good trade for the Ravens because they're getting a really really good running back. Roquan Smith went to Georgia. He was one of the best. He was one of the best running backs. What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm tweaking out today. He was one of the best linebackers that I've seen in the past, since I started watching football. Since he's come to the Bears, he's been dominant. He's been one of the best linebackers in the NFL. And the fact that I don't understand why they couldn't agree to a long-term contract with him, but hey, it is what it is. A W for the Ravens. And last but not least, the Bears. The Bears traded for Chase Claypool. And essentially, Chase Claypool became expandable once George Pickens from Georgia just emerged onto the scene and, immediately connected and clicked with Kenny Pickett. Chase Claypool, since his rookie season where he caught 9 touchdown passes, so like halfway through the 2020 season when the fraudulent ass fucking Steelers were like 9 or went 11-0, he's only caught 4 touchdown passes in the NFL. And that's that's almost 2 whole seasons after. So it was halfway through his rookie season. It was the last time, and then since then, halfway through his rookie season, he's only caught 4 touchdown passes. He had 2 last year. He had 1 this year. So it makes sense. And then obviously the Pittsburgh Steelers are have some good depth at the receiver position. So trading one of them away made sense. And then obviously, they were able to get a 2nd round pick for him, which is what they paid for him anyways. And that really helps the Bears because the Bears need a lot of help in the receiver position because Justin Fields needs some fucking help. Justin Fields needs help, especially at that position. So with that being said, that just wraps up the NFL trade deadline. So no trades are going to happen until the offseason now. So we'll see how all these trades end up shaking up. But like I said, I really like the teams that I just named: the Dolphins, the Vikings, the Ravens, and the Bears. What they did in acquiring the talent that they did. Hey man, shout out to all those GMs for being aggressive. All right, so the first game of yesterday, not the first game, but there were 2 really, really good games that I wanted to talk about. So first of all, I want to talk about the Bulls beating the Nets. No surprise that, the Nets take another L. They're starting to look like a fucking shit show at this point. It's crazy, though, because I wouldn't say it's crazy because the Nets started off the game and they looked really, really well. Honestly, KD came out, got into his offense. He was extremely aggressive. And, the Bulls have this tendency of starting games off slow and, kind of having to pick it up as the game, starts to develop and whatever the case may be. They start off slow, and honestly, I feel like the Bulls need to build better habits. And when I say better habits, they need to be able to start games faster, get more aggressive at an earlier point, and get into the habits of what caused them to be the 1 seed for the majority of last season. So the Bulls started off slow, and as I said, build better habits, and then they need to be starting to start. Why the fuck do I keep stuttering? They need to start starting off faster. And one thing I will say that I noticed in watching the game and rewatching the highlights at the end of the game is Nikola Vucevic needs to be way more aggressive. And the offense needs to do a better job of finding him when he's being aggressive, because there were times where he would seal guys off, get good position, I don't know what the fuck is going on. There were times where he would seal guys off, get good position, and then he was not getting the ball. He was not getting a touch, and that honestly needs to stop. And one thing I will say is Nikola Vucevic, when he's playing at a lights-out level and playing like a dominant center, which he can be, he just takes the Bulls' offense and the Bulls entirely to a different level. I mean, a lot of teams in the NBA do not have a dominant center or a center that can average 25 and 10. And fortunately for the Bulls, they do. So they need to do a better job of getting him involved. And I mean, obviously, I'm not saying he should be the focal point, but he can't be forgotten, because I mean, his best work is done in the block. Like he can occasionally hit the three, and he's a competent three-point shooter, but man, his bread and butter is abuse. And then against a team like Brooklyn, come on now. Brooklyn has no size in the front court. Man, down the stretch, there was a possession where KD was guarding Vucevic. Come on now. Yes, KD's 7 feet, but he's not fucking guarding Nikola Vucevic. Get the fuck out of here. Kyrie didn't have the best first half at all. He was pretty measly, 2 of 12. The Bulls ramped it up in the second quarter. They played a better brand of basketball. Dragic was hitting threes. Caruso was hitting threes. Derrick Jones, they had elite production from their bench. And in the second half, man, the Bulls just asserted their dominance. DeMar started getting to his spots. Ayo Dosunmu started running the offense smooth like a well-oiled machine. And then Zach Levine started heating the fuck up, nigga. Zach Levine started heating. I'm heating up. I focus on the nigga on the bus. And down the stretch of the fourth quarter to close the game, Zach Levine hit clutch basket after clutch basket after clutch basket after clutch basket after clutch basket. And it's just good to see him being assertive and being dominant, because, look, as I said about Vucevic, look, Zach Levine is the best player on the Bulls by far. Zach Levine is the best player. He's 27 or 28. Me and him are on the same age. Not around the same age. We are the same age. He's in his prime. He just got a max contract, which a lot of people kind of, I don't know if he deserved that. Fuck that. Fuck that shit. He deserved every single fucking penny. Zach Levine is elite 3-level scorer. He can put the ball in the basket. He has a mid-range game, and now he can fucking shoot. Okay? He can hit threes. We already know what his bounce look like, and he can get to the basket at will. And then he can, from the mid-range, man, Zach Levine is a nigga. And it's games like this where he needs to fucking show his ass and show that he's a nigga. And this is what he did. Zach Levine, in order for the Bulls to have a chance of getting to the second round of the playoffs, Zach Levine, for the majority of this season, needs to be playing at an MVP level and needs to stay healthy and be assertive and be dominant. Because truthfully, there's not a lot of dudes that can honestly stay in front of Zach Levine when he really gets cooking and when he gets hot, man. He closed the game out for the Bulls. No doubt. They had no answer for him whatsoever down the stretch. The Nets had no answer for him down the stretch. No answer whatsoever. No answer. If he continues to play like that and can beat, which he can, and the thing is consistency, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of players that obviously you wouldn't be surprised they took over a game, blase. But man, he needs to be right there with I think he needs to be up there with Jaylen Brown in terms of production or better for the Bulls to reach their full potential, which I feel like is making the second round of playoffs. Maybe if everything goes well, the Bulls could possibly make the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since when they had Derrick Rose, probably like 10 years ago. But this is more of what I want to see from Zach Levine, going out there, shutting the doubters up, shutting the fucking haters up, letting them know I'm a fucking nigga. I cannot be fucking stopped, and I deserve every single fucking penny of this fat-ass contract that I signed in the offseason. Zach Levine, you are a nigga. To the Nets. I don't know what to say about the Nets, man. The Nets are the poster child for dysfunction as of right now. They just fired the fuck out of Steve Nash. They're saying it was a mutual. I don't know what the fuck is going on with me right now in this podcast and why I keep stuttering and just misplacing words, but y'all bear with me. It has been a while. I feel like it feels like a while. I need to stop going this long without recording. It has been a while, but nevertheless, it is what it is. I need to correct that shit. They're the poster child for dysfunction as of right now. They fired Steve Nash. They said it was a mutual, whatever the case may be. I'm actually happy for Steve Nash because, honestly, I don't think even Steve Nash himself signed up for that fucking clown show of a fucking, to be like, that shit was a joke. I thought for a long time, like, man, and then even, I don't even understand how Steve Nash was comfortable coming back when KD met KD. The reports were saying, I mean, I put words into KD's mouth. The reports that I've seen during the offseason is that, KD and Kyrie want him gone. And I'm just like, why would I want to come back to a team that the star players don't want me to be there? And then they start off the season the way they did. They fucking suck defensively. Ben Simmons is I don't even know what to say about Ben Simmons as of right now. And honestly, like, just looking back at it, I'm gonna just keep saying it, man. The Nets are severely going to regret blowing up their roster to acquire James Harden. The Nets are going to regret that shit for a very long time. It seems so pointless. It seems so asinine. I just didn't even understand what the purpose of that shit was. You have Karis LeVert. Mind you, Karis LeVert, I don't know what it is about Karis LeVert, but he loves playing the Celtics. Because Karis LeVert's two greatest scoring outputs of his career have been against the Celtics. One, I think on the very first episode of my podcast I ever did, I covered Karis LeVert dropping 51 fucking points in the Garden. And just 5 days ago on Friday, on ESPN Primetime Basketball, he dropped 40-something points against the Celtics again. They had Spencer Dinwiddie. We know what Spencer Dinwiddie was like for the Dallas Mavericks last season in the playoffs. He was clutch. Jared Allen has become an important pillar in the Cavs defense. So Cavs defense, Cavs roster, and like this, they traded all that away for a dude that only stayed on the roster for a year. Make that make sense. And yesterday the Nets looked flat at times. Defensively, they're fucking horrible. Defensively, they're horrible. I think the Nets. But obviously that's going to change because they're hiring Ime Udoka, and I know he's going to be able to get some things right, especially on that end of the floor. But as of right now, the Nets have to be one of the worst defensive teams I've seen in like the past 20 years. They're fucking terrible. They are bad. They are bad at that end of the floor, and obviously hey, I don't really know what to say about the Nets at this point, man. The only way they could have fixed their defense is by hiring Ime Udoka, because at this point, it just wasn't looking good, honestly. Wasn't looking too good whatsoever. But we'll see how that, I mean, hey, I think they're 2-6 now, if I'm not mistaken. Hey. So the next game I want to discuss is the Miami Heat beating the Golden State Warriors 116-109. This is the second time these two teams match up within less than a week. And I want to give a big shout out to the Heat because they started off sluggish, but then eventually they got into part of the playing style and the matchup and the DNA and the blueprint of what got them the number one seed last year, and they were able to grind out this game and get a W. For a lot of especially down the stretch of the fourth quarter, they were active on defense. They were stretching the floor, and they were able to get immense production from their bench yesterday's game. In the fourth quarter, they outscored the Warriors 30-15. They were huge because on both ends of the floor they played lights out. Their offense was clicking in the fourth quarter, and then also in the fourth quarter they were strapping. They played good defense. They looked elite on that end of the floor, and Jimmy Butler was matched up against Klay Thompson with 10 seconds left in the game. And he hits the dagger 2-point shot, which essentially puts the game out of reach because it was a 5-point game with about like 5 seconds left. And honestly, huge win for the Heat after a disappointing road trip because their road trip was pretty bad. Jimmy Butler made a lot of winning plays and was aggressive the entire game. He got to oh my God. He got to the free throw line and got up 9 attempts. He had 8 assists, 8 rebounds, and a lot of timely clutch buckets that helped the Heat grind out this victory. As I said before, the bench reduction for the Heat was huge and immense. Duncan Robinson had 24 points. He was huge in the fourth quarter. Max Strus had 17 points. He was big enough in the fourth quarter as well with timely buckets. And just like I said, overall great win for the Heat. Can't really put it any other way. I mean, we need the Heat needs to be doing and putting together more and more performances like this. Today they're playing against the Sacramento Kings, which is a team that they lost to on their road trip. And let me talk about the Warriors real quick because I seen a stat that actually really, really surprised me. The Warriors are 0-5 on the road this season. And the only bright spot I feel like came out of yesterday's game is Steph Curry got his 10th career triple-double. He had 23 points, 13 assists, and 13 rebounds. But he also had 5 assists. The Warriors are 0-5 on the road. They're yet to win a road game, and the Warriors had one of the best road records in the league last season. Definitely, I'm not ready to call it a championship slump or a championship hangover, but they definitely are not playing championship basketball. They don't really resemble any. They outside of the win on the first game in the first day of the season, they've only won 2 games since then, and lost 5. So they look pretty bad. And then all the 5 losses that they've incurred were on the road. So it honestly, it's a little. I'm not ready to freak out or panic or whatever the case may be, because one, I probably don't even see the Warriors getting a top 3 seed. Maybe they'll get 3 or 4 or whatever the case may be. But as long as the Warriors are healthy, they have Stephen Curry, they have Klay Thompson. I trust them against any team in a playoff environment. And so hopefully they get it together. I mean, definitely you can start to see, they're not playing with the same tenacity. They're not playing with the same tenacity on both ends of the floor. But, I mean, it is what it is. They just won a championship, so, they had a very long season. So, with that being said, and also, being that they are the defending champs, they're going to get every team's best shot, every team's best effort. So, I mean, I'm not ready to trip out or to fucking over-exaggerate or overreact and say, oh, my God, what the fuck is going on? But nevertheless, it is slightly concerning that they haven't gotten off to a better start. But with that being said, that concludes episode 111 of Pull Up the Tape. My name is Michael DeLu. And unfortunately today, I had to add another rest in peace to – not rest in peace because I don't like to say rest in peace. First and foremost, long live my brother. Long live Nipsey Hussle. Long live Kobe. Long live Gigi. Long live Pop Smoke. Whoa. Long live Boy. Long live Mac Miller. Long live Takeoff. Mama! Very, very sad situation that it's really, really sad that he lost his life. And I didn't realize that me and Takeoff were actually the same age. Takeoff was born like 5 months before I was, so me and Takeoff are damn near like the same age. Really, really sad situation, and my condolences go out to Takeoff, Offset, Quavo, their entire family, and the whole QC family as well. Really, really sad situation. It was one of the first things I woke up to yesterday morning, and I was actually shocked to see that shit. But unfortunately, that's unfortunately how life can shake out sometimes. Most death, especially people who die under a specific age, unexpected, type shit. Free Chef G, free Pooh Shiesty. I'm out this bitch. Oh man, I can't believe I got that's probably like one of the worst podcasts I've put out in a long time. I started so many fucking times. I fucking miss whatever the case may be. But with that being said, honestly, I'm out this bitch. Appreciate y'all.